Hello, everybody. All right. So I got this Sebastian stamp from Lavinia. This was actually sent to me by my friend Lee. Thank you, Lee. All the way from the UK. So this is like extra special because it came actually from the UK, like from there. So pretty cool. But I was thinking about like all these different backgrounds I could do. And there was two that kept coming to mind. And I think you can play along with me and make this. So what you're going to need is some watercolor paper. I have distress watercolor paper from Tim Holtz. If I could open it. And we're going to need 2 panels of that. I'm going to do both of these methods at the same time. I might regret this. We might have to switch to one at a time. We'll see. All right, and I want it smooth side up. I do have some paper towels available. We're going to move the stamp aside for just a second. And the 2 methods I'm going to use today are using some Brushos. Now you might have some color bursts. You can use those. You might have distress stains, distress ink spray, distress oxide spray. You might have re-inkers. Any of these things will work. Watercolor markers will work. So I just have a couple of these colors here for that side. And then on this side, I have my wonderful Spectrum Noir Sparkle inks that come in a tub. You also have Sparkle markers that are the same formula, but they come in a marker. So if you have those, you can do that as well. And I'm doing is just kind of shaking them up and agitating some of that mica so that comes out. Because I think, of course, you know, sparkle makes everything nicer. I am going to not put down any paper towel because if we have anything extra run over, I'm going to pull another piece of this out and we can use this to sop up the extra. So maybe we'll get 3 card panels out of this. But let's just get messy. Let's have fun. Let's play with it. I'm thinking I should probably put some gloves on. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Look at that. I have gloves. I just don't want any staining on my hands. You could also do this method with alcohol inks and Yupo paper. It's another way we could do it. All right, we got our gloves. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to wet both of these card panels with some water, just using the distress sprayer, any kind of sprayer you have, just a light mist to get them wet. And then the first one I'm just going to shake on some Brushos here. This one is lime green. Then I'm going to go in with some turquoise. Some Prussian blue, a little bit darker. Probably won't add too much of that, just on the outside corners here. And then a little bit of purple. All right, and then all we're going to do for that is just start misting. You can see immediately that they start moving around. And anywhere you think you need more or less, you can add colors. I'm going to take a paintbrush, a little bit of water off to the side here. Paintbrush that has red paint in it. Okay. I didn't clean it. All right. And I'm just going to kind of just help move these colors along a little bit. No right or wrong way. It's your art. Just have fun with it. Let it flow. All right, so I kind of like that. I'm going to actually take the heat tool and dry that one. right, I really like that one. I'm going to move that one aside and let it kind of dry on its own. Let me drip some of this off of the back here. All right, that one looks really pretty. I'm just going to move that one to the side. All of this that's already wet, I'm actually going to re-moisten that and just go right in with this other piece of card. And again, dipping in with the flat side so that we're not wasting any of that color. There's a lot of it. Okay, so that's all pretty saturated. Then I'm going to go in with the brush and go into these color pots and just add on top of that. So let me open these up. And these are all different shades of like teal and blue, green. Just sop some of that up. Okay, so now I'm just going to go in and I'm going to moisten this a little bit. I mean, it's still a little wet, but just a little bit of water on there. And again, just kind of go in, drip some of that color. Now what's different between the two is this has a lot of mica in it, so as it dries you're going to see a lot of that shine come through. So that's some of the green. That one was called Soft Jade. This one is called Icy Blue. Oh, that's really dark. We're going to have to mute that one out a little bit. I'm going to have to dilute that. Okay, this other one is called Peacock Blue, which I suspect is also pretty dark. Okay, that's not too bad. Peacock Blue. It's not as bad. And then the other one is called Blue Topaz. It's very pretty. And that's all I'm doing is just random placement of color, trying to put some light, some dark. Okay, that looks pretty. Now let's also heat set this. Okay, I like the way both of those panels look. So you can see They're similar but different. So again, you probably have something in your stash that you can use. Like I said, if you have re-inkers, if you have watercolor markers, if you have distress markers, distress ink sprays, distress oxide sprays will work similarly. If you have the Spectrum Noir markers, the Sparkle markers will work the similar way. I'm just going to clean up some of this here. Okay, so I want to get to adding a little bit more dimension to this and also adding the stamp itself. So you can see, you know, if you wanted to mix and match your colors, this obviously has a lot of mica thrown in it. It's very, very pretty. And then this one doesn't have any mica in it, but it's still very pretty. And I'm going to just heat both of these up a little bit more. Oh no, before I heat them, I wanted to do like a lift, a little bit of a lift on the color. So I'm just going to take some paper towel here and I'm going to take my distress sprayer and I'm going to pull slowly. I'm not going to pull quick. When you pull slowly, you get kind of bigger drops of water like that, and that's what I want. So we're going to do this lift. The longer you let it sit on there, the whiter the drops are going to be. Because both of these are watercolors, so they are activated through water, so we just want to leave those drips in there for a minute. Clean my brush off. And then we're just going to dry both panels off and get to stamping our little Sebastian stamp. So you can see how fun this is if you do a couple panels at a time and then stamp them all at once and then make them in the cards. It's really easy to make a set of cards. Sometimes it's fun getting messy. I know I'm not one that always gets messy, but let me show those to you guys. Okay, so then you can start to see the water soaking in and lifting those ink colors. Just take a paper towel and lift that. There we go. Then we have those spots, or like I like to think of them as like bubbles. Okay, all right. So now I'm going to dry them both off. We want them completely dry before we use the stamp. Now, as your panel starts to dry, it may start to warp like this one is. All you're going to do is flip that over and dry it some more from the back side, and it will flatten back out. Those are pretty dry. We can take the gloves off now. Done making a mess for this round. Yes. All right, so now I'm going to get my mini Misti out because I want to have a deep, dark black impression on here. So I have my little piece of sticky grid on there. You may want to use some magnets for some extra support because of the warping in there. Let me grab mine. Okay, I'm going to grab my little Sebastian stamp here. And he is pretty big, so I'm going to try to put him right in the middle there. And I am going to use some Versafine Clair ink because it's very dark black. Probably have to stamp it a couple of times. Ooh, he pops off that page. So pretty. What a fun stamp for summertime. All right, one more time, I think. Oh yeah, that looks so cool. Now you can also go in and add more color. I'm going to leave it like this. I'm not going to mess with the color because I think it looks great just like that. What a very easy, simple, beautiful card panel. Let's do on the micas now, the sparkle inks, and see how much it changes how he looks. One more time. He gets a little lost in there because of all the mica. So on this one, I might put a little more color on him. Now this ink is a waterproof ink, so if you wanted to go in and add more colors or change the layering of the colors, you can do that. Like you can add colors or take away colors. I'll show you what I mean in a second here because I think we need to take a little bit of color away from him. Just because the background is so dark and so vibrant with all the mica, I think we're losing some of the dimension on him. Yeah, okay, so he looks cute, but let's do something else here. Clean him up. And this is a photopolymer stamp, so this is not a silicone stamp, which is nice. Good quality stuff here. So let me show you guys the difference between the two. So here is the one on the Brushos. Here is the one on the Spectrum Noir. And you can see they both look great, but I think this one just really pops because there's no mica to distract you. On this one, the mica is really pretty, but it's kind of distracting, and he's kind of in the background, like we've lost him a little bit. Oh, you know, I just ordered those Lavinia, they seaweed and corals and stuff, but I haven't gotten them yet. But on this one, I'm going to take some of that color away a little bit. So I'm going to heat set the ink. All right, and then I want to lift some of that color around him. So I'm just taking a regular water brush. Got my paper towels over here. And anywhere where he is, I am just going to lighten him up. And all I'm doing is just adding water. Particularly where there's a lot of mica, because that mica is just kind of blinding. And I think that's where we're losing some of his dimension, because we have all that mica. And the mica's pretty, but I think it's just overpowering. So just taking the brush, using the water to lift some of that out of the way. It's kind of like bleaching. And because these inks are water reactive, they just kind of lift and move out of the way. All right, now he's kind of coming to life. You can see him a little more. Moving the mica and the color around a little bit makes it easier to see him. And it's really mistake proof. You don't have to worry about, are you in the lines? Are you messing up your colors? Because you're really just using the background. You're not coloring anything in. You're not have to shade anything in. But I think that really makes him pop a lot more by being able to see him now. He's not obstructed by all the mica. And the mica is still there. It's still in the background. You just don't see it as much on the stamped image. There's a lot down here. Just kind of using the brush, lifting it out of the way. Sliding it over. And you guys know I love my mica, but that's a lot of mica on there. You know why? Because I took it off the lid after I shook them up, so. That looks pretty good. And then if you wanted to go in and add color, you could go in with the sparkle or the inks and just add color back in. But very simple to make these colorful backgrounds, especially when it comes to like galaxy backgrounds or water backgrounds. These are very, very simple to do. Just using those watercolor things. And you probably have stuff, like I said, in your stash already. You can even do this with Distress ink pads. Just smush them down on your pad, on your glass mat, and then just soak up the color. So yeah, very easy to do. Very cute stamp. So let me know which one you like better. Do you like the Brusho's one better? There he is in all his glory. Or do you like the Sparkle one better? And I know some of you are going to be like, well, just Sparkle just makes everything better. It does. It does. And then all I have to do is just put them on some card fronts. If I find like a little sentiment that just says, hi, how are you? Or just save the sentiment and put it on the inside of the card, I can do that. So I'll link everything I use down in the description for you. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments. Put down in the comments which one you like better, the one with the Brushos or the one with the Sparkle. Let me know. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, click the little subscribe button down here in the corner and click the bell so that you can get notifications every time I post a new video. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and keep on stamping. Bye-bye.